Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my December daily project. Today I'm going to be working on day 20, which is going to be a double page spread, or more like a 4-page spread. I had a plan for this page and I can't remember exactly what I wanted to do, so I'm going to be making this up as I go along. I'm working on the back of this page that I just finished. So I have some stitching here that I'm just going to stick, I think some pattern paper back to back. And then I have this wreath cut file in the middle. I think my intention was to put maybe a photo in the center here, but I can't quite remember. I know I definitely wanted to do some photos in half circles on the outside. I have a bunch of photos printed, so this was in the evening. This is me and my kids in the hot tub. So I think that was probably supposed to go on this page. I definitely printed them out in 4x6 so that I could cut them big enough to go inside this circle. And I printed them black and white because it was lots of blues. So I have too many photos. I just can't figure out exactly what I wanted to do here. So maybe these two are supposed to go on here. One of these is supposed to go on the outside. I think maybe these two of my kids are supposed to go on the inside. I'll have to work out exactly how. So I'm going to go off camera and try to figure that out. Okay, what I've decided I'm going to do is put these two on this page, like I was planning, and then I'm going to adhere my husband's photo to the back of the wreath, and then I'm going to adhere these two back to back and cut them in the same circular patterns so that they flip like that. So this is a 1-day. And just pop them in the rings as they are, and then I'm going to put the date on the inside of the wreath and probably a little title, and then on this side I'll do the hot tub photos. So that's what's going to happen there. Very confusing. I probably confused myself. That wasn't what I planned, but I just don't think I could fit any of these photos in that small an area and be happy with them. So I'm just going to use this bowl to trace my circle because it's right around the right size for that. And yeah, so let's do it. Okay, so if that was long enough of an intro for you, here we go into the process. So I'm just taking that bowl and I am going to put it against the edge of my photo and just draw around it. And I am going to trim it down from here, but I just want to get a rough idea of that circular shape without cutting off anything important. So I don't want to cut off anyone's face or anything like that. So I've just gone around and drawn it like that, and then I am going to just snip off a little bit here. So you can see it's more of a D shape at the moment than it is a half circle. So it's still flat at the top and the bottom. So I've just trimmed off a bit of the side, and now I am taking off a bit more, so it's a little bit more of a smooth circular shape. And there you go. Now I have a proper semicircle and I haven't cut off anything important. So to get an idea of the shape of this one, I just laid that cutout that I'd already made over the top, because this one's going to be, it's kind of hard to explain, but you'll see these two are not going back to back. So I don't need to flip it over or anything. It's kind of hard to explain. You'll see better once all the half circles are cut out. But I'm going to have 3 half circles in total. So those 3 photos that you can see in the middle there, they're all going to be half circles. So I've cut my daughter out. Just love that photo of her. And I'm just using this part of the wreath to make sure it fits and to use as a guide for my holes. So this photo is not going on the back of the wreath, but I want all 3 of these photos to be the same shape and same size. So I'm just using that as a guide. Then I'm going to punch these holes out. And then this photo is going to go back to back with this photo of my son. So I am just going to snip that down, and then I'm going to use this as a template. So I'm just going to lay that over the back and stick it down with some adhesive tape. And then I can just trim out what's overhanging rather than trying to cut out both shapes and then line them up, which can be quite difficult. So this is much easier. Just trim around, and then I can just punch those holes again, and that is that page done. So I really loved playing around with this whole semicircular wreath design. It was really fun, and this day did end up, like I said, being quite a few days or quite a few pages in one day, but I don't mind. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. So this one is going on the back of that wreath, so I'm just lining it up and sticking it straight down, and then I can use those already punched out holes to repunch the photo. And that is done. So they are just all going to kind of lay over the top of each other just like that. And I did this first because I had a better idea of what I was going to do here. That's why the page on the left at the moment is blank. I've just pulled out this Kaisercraft sticker book because I really wanted a tab to attach to this kind of freestanding circular or half circular piece because it's laying over the top of that other photo. It would be quite easy just to flip that whole thing over and not realize there's another lot of photos inside. Okay, so now I'm going to work on that photo, or that page on the left. So I have taken the pattern paper that I had put in as a foundation page for day 19, I think, the previous day, but I didn't end up using. I used that pink paper instead, the one that I'm putting adhesive on now. So I'm just going to use this black and white one on this day instead. So just lining it up there. There we go. Bit of overhang, as you can see. I'm just going to go ahead and trim that off, just using the other side as a guide. And that's fine. I think I did just need to, I did need to tidy up the holes a little bit because they didn't quite line up, which is, again, fine. Alright, so these are the photos I'm going to add. So this is just a photo of my son in the car on the way up to my in-laws having it's not a coffee, it's just a warm milk, don't worry. But it's in the little coffee cup, so he felt like a grown-up. And that's just a photo of me at breakfast. I just took a selfie. I just really liked how I did my makeup that day, and yeah. There's photos of everyone else at breakfast, so that is a photo of me. So I'm just making some hole reinforcers here. I'm using that peachy polka dot paper that I've used a little bit previously. It's on the back of that wreath actually. So I just wanted something different rather than the gold glitter, which I've used mostly throughout this album. I just really liked bringing that peach color across to this page as well. And I'm going to use some photo corners here. I think this is the only time I use them in this album. I kept meaning to. They were in my kit. I got them in a swap, and I just really don't use photo corners that often. Not because I don't like them, I just don't think to use them. So I'm using some of the pink ones and a blue one. And I quite like this little chipboard frame around my son like that. So I just added that in. I just went for it. And I'm going to use this Peace, Love and Joy sticker as well. Kind of random, but I was trying to just kind of get this done at this point. So I was just kind of pulling things out and going, yeah, I like that. And just sticking it in there. So I'm adding some pink and white baker's twine to the top of the tag, and I'm just going to tuck that in that space at the top of the top photo. So I do have to play around with I snip a bit off the bottom, just trying to get it to fit in, and I have to lift up that photo a little bit, kind of shove it down in there so that it'll fit. I just really like that swan. It's really cute, and I love that peach. And that little pop of red on the hole reinforcer does not hurt. Okay, I went ahead and printed out my journaling in some just typeface font on my computer, mainly because I've got that black and white star pattern on the background, and I knew if I tried to write over that in pen it was just going to be really difficult to read. So I've just printed it out and stuck it down in strips with some tacky glue, really simple and easy. And then I'll just pop this little snowflake die cut at the bottom in that space, and yeah, that page is full and really simple and really quick. It didn't take too much time at all, which I really like, but I love how it looks. Okay, onto the wreath. I love this wreath. It turned out so well. So I tried the numbers with one on each page, didn't like that, so I'm just going to put the numbers over to the left there. Those little snowflakes are brads that I cut the prongs off, and I'm just going to stick those on as they are. They're little white glitter snowflakes, really cute. And then I spelt out Grandpa's house in those puffy alphas from the Rosie Studio collection from last Christmas. And I'm just sticking down my numbers. Those are, I can't remember what they're called, some thickers that is just a number set. And now I'm just putting a little square of adhesive foam behind these snowflakes because they are metal brads, and I can't just use tacky glue, the foam will help. So I'm using a little square of foam and a dab of tacky glue. And then I am going to add in a bunch of these little sparkly enamel dots. That's right. Gosh, I can't find my words today. You'll see on the cut file of that wreath, there are kind of little circular berry bits scattered around, and I just wanted to kind of add some more of those. So I love how that turned out. That is from Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files, that wreath, if you want to go and have a look. And now I'm working on the other side of this day. So this is all still day 20. I know it's a really long day. It was a long day. We typically leave really early in the morning to get up to my in-laws. It's quite a bit of a drive for us, especially with two small children. So we usually leave really early and have breakfast on the way. And it does end up being quite a long day. So here are those photos of me and the kids in the hot tub. I could have just used one of these photos, but then I would have just had an empty page on the other side. I didn't really want to have day 21 on that right hand side page yet. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, but I just decided to use both of them. And again, just did exactly the same thing as I did with the other semicircles. They're exactly the same size and shape. So I'm just going to stick that straight on the back of that and punch those holes out. There we go. And then on the other page, I think I just kind of lined them up and made sure I had it pretty much in line. I wasn't too worried about it not lining up perfectly, but I kind of wanted, when you had those two hot tub photos open like that they sat pretty well lined up. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick that down, just lining up those holes and punching out. And then I'm just going to do some journaling just around the outside of this semicircle, and I'm just using a bit of paper there because you don't really want to put the palm of your hand on your photo while you're writing because, you know, all the oils and stuff from your skin can get on the photo and, you know, smudge it or break down the ink. So that's why I did that. Now I've got this fabric ribbon, which is absolutely gorgeous. I love it, but I haven't had a chance to use it in this album yet. So I had a big section on the right hand side there where it was just empty and nothing in there, so I thought this was a good opportunity to add some of this really wide ribbon. So I just stuck it down with a strip of adhesive tape, and then I've gone through with my sewing machine and done 2 rows of white stitching. So I've done a row right on the edge of the paper and then a row on the other edge of the ribbon, so you can kind of see there about 1.5 inches apart. And I am cutting them off right at the edge of the paper, but when I do the following day, I will glue that backside of that stitching so it's not going to come undone. So I don't need to worry about it too much. All right, nearly finished. I love how that ribbon looks with the wreath open too. Really happy with that. I'm just adding a couple of those little peppermint puffy stickers, and then I'll add some of these little puffy dots just to add an extra sprinkle of prettiness. And then I'm going to add some extra embellishments to those parts of the photo that are just kind of empty and nothing really important on them, so like the water and the bottom of the hot tub. So I'm just adding this label from the Create Paper sticker book, the Hey Santa sticker book. It's an opaque label, and I'm just going to stick 2 of the little phrase stickers on. So one says Reindeer Games, which I thought was appropriate, and the other one's just like a strip of stars. Fills that in nicely. I really love that holly sprig. I don't know why. I think just because the wreath is on the other side, it's kind of bringing that whole foliage element over. And then this little pink banner that says December fits in there just nicely. So I'm just going to snip off that overhanging bit. And I'm just using double-sided tape for this. I find that double-sided tape sticks pretty effectively to photos. And that is going to be day 20 finished. So I'm just going to pop everything back into the album, and then I'll do a bit of a normal speed flip through just so you can see the different pages. And that will be it. I have one more day coming, day 21, and after that I just went off and did the remaining pages on my own off camera. So I will do a flip through. That is coming in the next day or 2. Keep an eye out for that. And I hope you enjoyed watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.